Good morning, everyone. Thanks for attending our seminar this morning. My name is Celia Silva. I am part of the Strategic Alliances team here at Jefferson Frank. We are delighted to host today's session on how to attract and retain talent in today's world. One piece of housekeeping, everyone's on mute except for the speakers. If you have any questions during the session, please pop them in the chatter box. Let me introduce you to my colleague, Kashif Naqshbandi. He's our group CMO, and he's going to give you a full overview on salary trends and also our EMEA salary survey. I will talk to you about a key hot topic in the ecosystem, which is diversity and inclusion. And finally, Nabila Salem, president of Revlon Group, and also one of our female board members, will guide you through our talent creation program. Before we go into that, let me tell you a little bit about Jefferson Frank for those who don't know who we are. Jefferson Frank is the largest AWS specialist staffing business in the world. We started back in 2018 in the UK to address the anticipated demand for AWS skilled professionals. We have over 300 consultants spread across UK, EMEA, USA, and Asia Pacific, and we've placed over 2,000 permanent and freelance AWS professionals globally. Let me pass on you to Kashif, who's going to talk to you about our 2020 salary report. Kashif, I hand it over to you.
Okay, thanks, Celia. So today I'm going to talk you through our annual salary survey. And what I'm hoping you'll take away from this session are key actionable recruitment and retention strategies to build into your employer brand. And that's whether you work for a partner or for an end user. I'm going to give you an insight into how often and more importantly, why people change jobs, and then how you can address those motivations in terms of keeping the right talent in your organization and also looking at why people would want to work for your organization. We'll look at benefits to consider when making offers. One, to make you as an employer attractive, but also to make sure that you as an employer are aligning yourself with the marketplace and make sure you retain people in the organization. And then Celia is going to run through attraction and retention insights for diverse talent. So the presentation itself is based on our annual salary survey. It's the world's largest independent exploration of AWS products, market trends, culture, salaries, benefits, training and certification, and it's basically surveying AWS professionals who work for both partners, end users, and ISV. Well, we get thousands of respondents every year, and it's now in its third year, and we launch it in line with reInvent, and so far we've had 2,600 downloads, and it's also an important reference for industry influencers and bloggers. The forward has been written by Yang Kui, who's an author of Production Ready Serverless. So it's also giving you some sort of third-party validation on the topics that we've covered. In terms of demographics, we've covered pretty much the whole world, but there's a large geographical footprint, both in the US and Europe. And in terms of employer type, both AWS partner employees and end user AWS customers responded to the survey. So whether you're on the partner side or the end user side, I'm sure you'll find it very useful. Okay, so first thing we looked at was movement in the ecosystem. The question we asked was, how long are you with your current employer, and where are you likely, and are you looking for a new position right now? And we found that on average, respondents work for their current employer for 3 years. Previous tenures within organizations were 4 years on average. But actually, interestingly, 1 in 4 AWS professionals is considering changing jobs right now. And then when we looked at why people would consider changing jobs on the permanent side, Lack of salary increase was the number one motivation at 38%. That was followed closely by lack of career and promotional prospects, followed by wanting to take on new challenges, followed by lack of exposure to AWS products. So I think it's important here to understand that people obviously care about their salaries and want to feel valued. And again, I'd urge you to look at our salary survey, which you can download at the end, or speak to one of our consultants, give you a more detailed view of your sort of geographical and industry vertical. But lack of career and promotion prospects really is important. I think it's easy to address this by making sure that people can see a structured career path. Make sure the work is interesting and that actually is relevant to the tech that they are excited about, the AWS tech. And then we also looked at whether those permanent employees would consider freelance work, or are looking, should I say. And a third were actually looking to move into the freelance market as well. We then surveyed the contractor market, and outside of the contract ending, number one was looking to pursue new challenges. Number two, lack of career and promotional prospects. Number three, lack of exposure to AWS products. Number four was no added employee benefits, 25%. So I think as an employer, it's important to consider this market, because these contractors do have lots and lots of varied and detailed experience, and if you can give them a structured career path, and give them employee benefits, then you can attract some really good people into your organization. We also looked at the movement between partners and end users and vice versa. So as a partner, an AWS partner, what is it that you can do to make sure that you retain great talent into your organization? 2/3 of partner employees would consider working for an end user, and the number one reason was higher earning potential. So straight away, if you aren't aligned with the marketplace, and that's something you can address right now, rather than having to rehire once these people leave your organization. Number two, ability to work remotely, and number three, better work-life balance. So these are all important factors for both retention and also attracting new employees into your organization if you work for a partner. And then in terms of people that work for end users looking to work for an AWS partner, you can see that the expansion of AWS knowledge, the leveraging of the AWS knowledge, and exposure to different clients and different projects were really, really important for end users. So again, if you're a partner, then these are things you should be socializing through your employee brand. If you work for an AWS customer, then as the first slide showed, the ability to leverage and expand on the AWS and your AWS knowledge is really important. Where exposure to different clients may not be so relevant, certainly exposure to different projects will be. Okay, and then we looked at certifications, and we learned that 54% of respondents have at least one AWS certification, and a further 26 said that while they don't currently have one, they're working towards one. The most popular were AWS Associate Solutions Architect, followed by Associate Developer, followed by Associate SysOps Administrator. I think on the right-hand side, these are really important stats. 1/3 were dissatisfied with the training and development that they got. And what they really want is long-term professional development. So that is a structured plan around training and certification. Obviously AWS specific certification, subsidized AWS training was really, really important. Not having to sort of pay themselves was a factor in terms of job satisfaction, and actually something that those businesses that do already is a really good, really great attraction and retention policy. And then making sure that the training was always on point and new. And finally, more importantly, with partner organizations than end user, but still very critical, was the ability to have time during the working hours to do the training itself rather than do it out of hours. That was considered a really, really important factor. Okay, and then just in terms of what is the motivation to get certified apart from building your knowledge and expanding on it? The impact of certification on salary. Almost half who were certified got an increase in salary post certification, and of those that experienced a pay rise, the average was 28%. So I think that those are quite big numbers that of organisations that are rewarding their talent for getting certified. So really, whether you're an end user or a partner, make sure that you do socialise and have a structured, a visible structured sort of salary remuneration policy around certification, and make sure it's a decent one, because otherwise people will start to look elsewhere. And then we looked at perks and benefits. Once you've got somebody that you're interested in making an offer to, it's always good to align with the marketplace, or actually have a look, internally at where you are relative to your peers. Outside of pay and bonus, 27% of employees wanted to have certification vouchers. So this goes back to the previous slide, how important it is to them. So remuneration and training and certification being sort of paid towards that is really important. You can see holidays is important, training and development opportunities again important. And what I would say is this: if you feel you need to have some sort of consultation on this, again, please do reach out to our 300 odd recruiters, because they'll be able to give you a really good insight into what your peers are doing in the ecosystem. Okay, so just to summarize, really, salaries, it's the number one reason to both recruit and retain people in your organization. So please do make sure both your salaries and your perks, medical, flexible, training, giving time off for training, is aligned with the marketplace, especially post-certification. And as I said, use our salary survey data to benchmark salaries to make sure you're competitive. If you want a more personalized market mapping report, then we're happy to do that, and will help us advise on your regional and industry variations. And finally, people genuinely do care about their careers. So make sure you've got this structured career plan. Make sure you socialize it and execute it both internally and externally, and make sure training and certification is part of that plan as well. And I'm going to hand over to Celia, who's going to talk to you in depth about diverse talent. Thank you.
Thanks, Kashif. So, as I mentioned earlier, and as most of you will probably be aware, D&I is a hot topic in the tech world, and we, Jefferson Frank, as part of the industry and also influential in the ecosystem, are extremely passionate about this subject. And we also pride ourselves about having a diverse workforce and a diverse board. Actually, 30% of our board members are females. Taking this into consideration, we wanted to address this in our survey, and we got very interesting results. Independent sentiments around diversity and inclusion policies can be very insightful. It pinpoints where there may be a perception gap between employers' value propositions and how employees feel about sensitive issues. And we've identified the key changes employers can make to attract and retain diverse talent, and also reflected the views of employees from minority groups, highlighting ways to make positive changes. One of the questions we asked in the survey was if employees think their employers offer equal pay to women and men. Interestingly, 60% of male respondents feel that their employer offers equal pay for equal work, compared to only 27% of female respondents. In addition, Female respondents were more likely than their male peers to believe that men in the industry are paid more than women for equivalent skills and experience. Another interesting fact was that only 62% of the people we surveyed were certain that their employer has a D&I policies in place. However, the remaining ones weren't sure about having those policies or thought those policies didn't exist in their place of work. When we asked the question, 64% of professionals agreed that gender equality is a significant issue in the tech industry. Having said that, nearly 80% of females see technology a male-dominating industry. If we look at the stats on the right-hand side of the slide, we can see 80% of male employees feel that employers champion equal working rights. The number decreases down to 67% when we ask female professionals. Similarly, 17% of female respondents think their employers could do more about equal rights in the place of work, compared to only 10% of males. To summarize, we have seen the vast majority of respondents had a clear diversity and inclusion policy. They believe employer champion equal rights and understand that gender diversity is an issue in the tech industry as a whole. Studies show that diverse organizations outperform their competitors, and a failure to prioritize inclusion can risk losing valued talent. So, as employers, what can you do to improve attracting top talent? D&I policies should always be clearly communicated. Make sure underrepresented groups feel valued. Also, address any lack of representation within your own teams. And finally, make sure and try to support activities that bring more representative numbers into the wider industry. We want to support our customers in building more diverse workplaces. So, our external diversity and inclusion strategy focuses on actions in 3 different core areas: innovation, partnerships, and insights. To give you a quick few examples of how that looks. In the innovation strand, we launched a Women in IT resourcing desk that works a little differently from our usual consulting model. The team focuses purely on finding female technologists and make sure we submit greater number of female profiles in every shortlist that we provide. We had to change our resourcing approach. Having a laser-sharp focus on it makes a real difference, as we aren't just talking about the issues, we are starting to move the dial. And it also has given us a blueprint for resourcing that we can apply to other specialist searches as well. In the partnership strand, we look for organizations that help us build networks at every level of the ecosystem, from CEOs to the students who are studying computer science and needing help to find their own pathway into tech. Also, not forgetting the little ones. They love how to learn coding at our kids' coding clubs. In the insight strand, we take the insights from our partnerships and innovation, and we build on those to create research that helps our customers solve their own challenges. It might be mapping a particular market or looking at practical changes to job ads, or maybe changing the balance of an interview panel. In conclusion, there's loads we can do to support you both from a D&I perspective, but also with your wider attraction and retention strategies. That's it from me. Nabila, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thanks, Celia, and hi, everyone. I'm the president of Revlon Group, a talent creator founded in 2018 with an innovative business model, revolutionizing the creation of AWS talent. Revlon is an incredibly inclusive company that welcomes talent from all walks of life, championing diversity in all its forms. Our mission as a business is to cross-train brilliant technologists from diverse backgrounds, fueling the AWS ecosystem with much-needed net new talent every day. So let's take a look at Revlon in numbers. We have 3 talent hubs in the UK, US, and Australia, and over 50 clients around the world. We have over 20 nationalities working together, and the senior management team is made up of 50% women, leading by example for the next generation of female leaders. 63% of employees identify as Black, Asian, or minority ethnic, and 37% of us are the first in our family to attend university. This shows that we're making significant strides in social mobility, which is much harder to achieve. Diversity is an essential element for innovation, and I think one of Revlon's strongest assets. Our 2-year business model is made up of 4 parts. Firstly, we recruit talent from other ecosystems, then we cross-train them to become AWS solution architects. The training takes place over an intensive 6 weeks period. During the training period, they undertake the Cloud Practitioner and Solutions Architect Associate certifications. Now, once they're trained, we place them on client sites and continue to invest in their professional development. During their time with Revlon, they have the ability to gain extra certifications along the journey, such as a Solutions Architect Professional certification. The Revels have different levels of experience, so some have 1 year of prior tech experience, whilst others have 10 plus years of prior tech experience, and all of these skills are transferable into AWS. After the 2-year period, our Revels usually go permanent with our clients. Essentially, what we're doing is building your talent pipeline for the future. Alternatively, the Revels might decide to stay with Revlon for a 3rd, 4th, or 5th year to pursue other ambitions. Either way, their opportunities within the AWS ecosystem become extremely lucrative. So, what are the benefits of working with Revlon? Well, we only select candidates with prior IT or business experience, so they join your organization as competent professionals and add value from the outset. We have our own certified trainers in-house, so the quality of training that our Revels receive is extremely high. We invest significantly in the education and training of our Revels, and in return, they commit to work for us for 2 years, which guarantees our clients service continuity. Our solution is cost-effective, low-risk, and scalable, which enables our clients to rely on a team that we at Revlon are fully accountable for. We work in partnership with our clients, so our model can be tailored to their specific needs and can be flexed up or down very quickly. This can be in terms of number of Revels or timescales, enabling us to support clients with urgent needs as well as future strategies. The model is geographically scalable, meaning we can find talent in hard-to-reach places, and the Revels are available to transfer to clients as permanent employees after 2 years at no extra cost. At Revlon, we partner with our clients to ultimately ensure that their goals are met, because we understand that no one size fits all, so we take the time to understand specific requirements. Our clients operate across all sectors in EMEA, North America, and Asia Pacific, and the feedback we've received has been incredibly positive. Earlier this year, we launched the Revels for Good initiative, where employees use their skills to help those that are less fortunate than ourselves, supporting charities and non-profit organizations in all corners of the globe with their AWS requirements on a voluntary basis. CSR is incredibly important to us as a business, but also as individuals. Delivering on our social goals is key to sustaining our success as a leading talent creator. But most of all, it's the right thing to do. If you know of any charities or non-profits that need our help, please let us know. Any Rebels that we have on the bench are ready to embark on voluntary projects around the world. So what are the next steps? We can partner with our clients to support AWS projects, whether they are opening a new practice, expanding, or working on a niche project. We can also help clients hire outside of traditional talent pools, further diversifying their talent pipeline. Last but not least, we welcome guests to take part in our spotlight sessions to share their AWS journey with our Rebels in order to inspire the next generation of talent coming through. To discuss your specific needs and challenges, please get in touch. We would love to hear from you. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Nabila. Before we go on to a Q&A, we wanted to share a couple of links that may be useful for you. If you are looking to expand your AWS skilled team, you will be able to access our database through the AWS Marketplace as well. I am more than keen to pick up separately for those interested on how this model works. And here's a link and QR code for you to download the salary survey that we've just discussed with you. Thank you all for your time. Now we'll be very pleased to answer any questions or hear your comments. So any feedback will be also appreciated as well. And we can pick up separately as well. Okay, it looks like we've got a question for Kashif. Kashif, are you there?
I am. Hi, everybody.
Good. Kashif, someone is asking us, what kind of staffing trends have you seen since COVID?
Okay, I guess without stating the obvious, there's definitely been a shift towards more, remote working and also flexible working arrangements. And actually, what we've seen more broadly than that is that businesses being much more open to longer term remote work options. So not just when things start to go back to the new normal, but actually considering that as the new normal. So what it's doing is opening up the talent pool to a much wider range of options, and also it's no longer considered a perk, and candidates themselves are also looking for the same level of long-term flexibility in terms of remote access as well. And actually, the other thing we've seen is the number of AWS professionals has actually dipped, temporarily, because I think people are less sort of confident about looking to move elsewhere. But on the flip side, the number of AWS roles has increased, certainly in the last few months, as businesses are looking to, accelerate their cloud migration projects. So yeah, there's lots of less talent out there. There's more demand. So it does mean that employers seem to be fighting to attract the same talent pool if they don't look elsewhere. And I think that's where some of the sort of key takeaways and insights are probably quite useful to consider. And I guess also where things like Revlon might, come and fill those gaps as well.
Thank you, Kash.
No problem.
Good. So I think there's a couple of questions about diversity as well. So George from the UK is asking what actionable steps we can, as employer, take over to improve diversity in their tech teams. I guess it's a question for me. So what I would say is, whilst recruitment is an area to focus on, retention is another hugely underrated area that you can look at. It's not good trying to open up the hiring process when you don't have an inclusive place to work. The quit rate for women in tech is exceptionally high, for instance. So if you don't have a culture where every member of the workforce feels comfortable and can thrive, contribute, and flourish, then no matter what and how you change your hiring process, you'll have the same end problem. So I guess you've got to listen to feedback from employees and action it, and create a culture where feedback is welcome and there is an opportunity to do it. So off the shop floor, away from the peers, and I guess that's easier than ever at the moment, with most of the teams being based remotely. So a monthly one-to-one via Zoom gives employee a huge opportunity to speak about these things confidentially as well. I hope that answers the question. I believe we've got a few more questions. Kash, what effect are current market conditions having on average salaries for cloud professionals?
I think, you know, the market right now actually sort of can't keep up with the demand for talent fast enough. So I think, you know, we will see, as competition hots up for really good AWS professionals, that salary is going to keep going up and up. And you know, we're not seeing any sort of negative impact on salaries from a candidate's perspective. As I said earlier, you know, candidates, there's less liquidity in the candidate market, so as demand increases, the salaries will as well.
Good.
Yeah, just to note, we've got another version of the survey coming out, as I said, aligned with reInvent, so that'll probably give us a little bit more insight, because than this one. Yep. Good.
So I hope I pronounced that well. Niya Barata Nayak also has a question. She's a graduate in data analytics with 4 years experience. So she's asking, how can we help them get trained in AWS and get a job? So maybe that's a question for you, Nobin. Actually, Nobin is answering questions on behalf of Nabila that she had to slip out, unfortunately. So Nobin, are you okay to answer that question for us?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, Nibrata. So yeah, the Revlon program model allows us to hire AWS prospective professionals that have come from different backgrounds, such as data, and yeah, absolutely. What we do is we hire them, we train them in AWS, and obviously, like you said, we'll place them. It is a paid program. So all the 8 weeks training that we do is all paid for. And then once that training has been completed, we will place you on client site. And again, that is all salaried. So yeah, absolutely, we will be, it is payable and chargeable. And that is a great way to get into the ecosystem of AWS. So we will provide, we've got some email addresses there. So if you would like to send your CV in or get more information, the Revlon Group does have lots of information on the website.
Amazing. I hope that was useful. Is anyone else interested in any?
So I think Oliver King has asked a couple of email questions here in the chat box, Celia.
Sure. How does your strategic alliance with AWS allow us to be better serve partners and end users with the recruitment and retention challenges? Okay. Ultimately, here at Jefferson Frank, what we do is we partner with AWS. We make sure that we understand. So AWS account managers and AWS sales reps are the ones who are closer to AWS customers, clearly, and finding out what the challenges that each customer is facing is actually what makes us, it makes us closer to them. Ultimately, we are working very closely. We're partnering with them to understand the challenges that each customer is facing, and obviously we're trying to tackle those challenges, providing with the right resources into AWS customers. Looks like we're going to have a new Revel, Nobin. Thanks, Nibriata.
Indeed.
Good. It looks like that's it for today. I really appreciate your questions and your time today. Any further, any feedback or any further questions, please just don't hesitate to email us directly. You've got our contact details on the screen. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope to speak to all of you soon.
Thank you for attending, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks all.